This is the Cowboy for Game Pokémon podcast. Bragg and Blake.
Hey-oh.
This is when we did the introductory podcast, but this is probably the first one since that's just been us, because it was you, Scully. Was it Kev on the?
Yeah, me, Scully, Kev.
We'll have to bring that back eventually, but it's just you and me for today's C4G episode. Thing we're going to do in the feed, we're just going to talk about Pokemon and about whatever we want to talk about Pokemon. Yeah. So today's one we're talking about the card game. I'm going to probably put an indicator in the description saying it's either TCG, Pogo, Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Or I guess we can talk about, there's no hard rules, but we'll just put an overall thing and no episode numbers. We're just going to be free and loose doing this. So always stay tuned in the podcast feed if you want to listen to us on the go, or we'll put it up on YouTube whenever we see fit.
If you're into that.
Yeah, because we don't want to spam YouTube too much, so we'll figure out.
And if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player, just stick around for a little bit and hear about how their tournaments run, see if you're interested, because as all of us who went besides Kev were all Yu-Gi-Oh players, other than Kev, like out of the 7 of us that went, 6 people were Yu-Gi-Oh players, so, other than Sky, I guess, too, but yeah, so stick around for a little bit and see what you think.
Yeah, and hello to the Yu-Gi-Oh players as well that I've come across, because, we are Cowboys for Game, but still, C4G.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it as a nice, cute little C4G. We're probably going to go back to that. It's going to be funny, because we kind of stopped saying C4G. But here we are.
Yeah, we did.
We are.
I like it.
So, we did a League Cup.
We did.
First,
some of us did too.
Yeah. The first Unified Minds League Cup, or was...
at least in Australia, absolutely. Yeah. If there were any others, people would have been there. There was one special event in Melbourne.
Yeah.
That Unified Minds was legal for. But this is absolutely the first cup.
Yeah, so this is the first cup. My first cup, I might have done a long time ago. But yeah, so this is my first proper one where I'm approaching it knowing what other people are playing. I'm not just here for some crazy ride. I'm kind of starting to get a bit more into it. Again. My God. It's good.
What a fun game. And what a... Other than I'll absolutely go out and say it. Other than people being like way too rude about time rules, other than that, really lovely community. The people who were there at Nui were really cool, and I had a really good time.
I didn't get a gauge of who was being a bit snarky about the thing, and they probably could have raised it as a legitimate point. But then again, the snark got them what they achieved. So basically, when the tournament started, they came out saying it's going to be 45 minutes.
Based on a rule, an official rule that was the most up-to-date rule that they had found.
Yes.
So, and there's a head TO there, so you need as I learnt later on, per store, you need a certified, been through a outline questionnaire and being tested. You need a tested TO per store.
Yeah.
So their TO had come across these rules and went, you know what? Instead of 40 minutes, instead of 50 minutes, we're going to do 45 because we've got so many people here. It's already going to be 6 rounds.
Yeah.
It'll speed up the day and we'll be able to get through things a lot simpler, a lot quicker. And people had a big problem with it. Scully raised the point that it's too... when you have a longer round and you can take more time, it decreases variance on just being bricked.
Yeah.
Which good players obviously care about more. However, I do know for a fact that it was 2 people going over and talking to them seriously and sitting and so Henry and another guy he knew, I think it was Brent, walked over and actually spoke to them properly. And then that's when they reconsidered, and I was like, okay,
So was 50 minutes the go? Because
50 minutes has always been the go-to.
So I knew that they said 50 minutes. Oh, how long was time at Worlds? From
what I remember, 50.
Because I definitely remember.
But when you go into tops, it obviously gets a lot longer.
Yeah, so it must have been longer than 15 minutes. I was on the impression that rounds were shorter, and then when they had 50-minute rounds at Worlds, and I could swear the commentators noted that that this is longer than usual. So the players might. So I'm not sure. Maybe.
But other than that, it took us over 3 hours to drive there, but it was fun. But it was a long drive, so I did understand them wanting to make it shorter. But
yeah, I was completely cool with them making it short. But
especially coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, we are very very used
40-minute rounds, and the match ends there, so there's no turns in time.
Yeah.
It's rubbish, and it's actually a thing we debate a lot in that game.
Yeah.
But we don't. We debate with people who don't listen. Unlike the store who listen.
These store, yeah. So all credit to them. They went back and evaluated it and went, okay, these people obviously wanted to be 50 minutes, so they changed it.
Yeah, it was. It's probably the right call. And we got out. It was still daylight when we left. So
yeah. Well, when we left,
because we buried the lead here. You topped.
I did top. I'm stoked, and then just to point out, because we'll talk about it more, but Kevin topped on Sunday.
Yeah,
which had less people, but the people who went were just as stacked. So going into the event, because this is the first cup of the season, and they got rid of the max per quarter cups you can go to. So the way you qualify for Worlds is you get points. Normally they cap and say you can only go to 2 cups. It's your best 2 cups per quarter, equaling up to 8 cups. They've got rid of that and said 8 cups just in general that you can go to. And your best 8 will go towards Worlds. So all of the good players have gone. Have come down from Queensland, have come across from Canberra, have come up from Melbourne because they've realised with a double cup weekend, that's 50 points minimum on a long grind towards their top 8 in Oceanics. Or
so with getting rid of that hard cap of how many cups you can go, is that going to mean that when all these players reach the threshold where they're qualified for Worlds, that they keep?
So there are 2 options. So normally later in the season it does. I will say this is all speculatory, and this is not at all what actually happens.
Yep. People
tend to sometimes, or quite frequently, scoop for people who need points.
Ah, cool. So it's a bit more of a...
people who need the points do... But later on as well, the good players stop coming because... well, here's the thing. The middle pile of good players stop coming, but the top end really want to fight for that top 8 spot in Oceanics by points because that's the pay.
Yeah.
That's when they pay you to go to Worlds, or go to event.
Otherwise,
and it skips you into day 2.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So for example, 250 is the cutoff for Worlds.
Yeah.
Is the qualifying for Worlds. But last year, Christian was 8th exactly, and he was on 870 points. So that and above was the threshold to.
You're looking for trying to get 1,000 points to get a flight and stuff.
So they'll still be there, but
the fact
it's still crazy, isn't it?
It's so good. They send 8 people.
Crazy.
They send 8 people.
Because you know the thing though. You know what happens. So for those of you who don't know, the top 8 by points in Oceanic region, and then top 16, I think it is, or top from Europe, and then from South America, and then from the America regions, get paid to go to Worlds or to a major event of their choice. And then they get to skip into day 2 of Worlds, which is also really important for them.
Yeah.
Also, skipping into day 2 of Worlds almost always means you're getting a good payout from Worlds anyway.
Yeah.
So, but what this does is, for example, Henry going over and winning Worlds has gotten the Australia scene way more into it.
Yeah.
So it's an investment in their own. It's an investment in their own market to send Australia, 8 Aussie bloke, even just if they were the only ones who went, he still won. And then we've got all these people who are really excited because Australia's on the map now for good players who are coming back. There was 2 guys from Canberra at the Nui Cup who hadn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
But they're very good players, and Kevin was like, "Oh, I never thought I'd see him back." But they all got back into it because they're all super hyped about it. So it's a cool investment.
The game seems to be pretty healthy. There's plenty of decks getting around. It's actually a little bit not intimidating, but trying to get your head around
every deck.
Yeah, every deck and what it does and the nuances and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, getting into that, what the hell did you play and what did you top with?
I played Picarom because it is slightly brain dead aggro, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting there for... So my middle to late game play is pretty poor because I'm very used to Yu-Gi-Oh! Where there is no middle to late game. You're not going 20 minutes in a round in Yu-Gi-Oh! It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So when I got to my late game, I feel like I was struggling a little bit, so I went, let's just not have a late game. Let's just go full aggro. So I did play the Jirachi list. It's based on Kaiwen's list, which is slightly slower than a few other Picaroms, contrary to what I said, but I started with Jirachi very little. But it was good. It had a really good matchup against everything but Mew Box, which I ended up playing twice.
Yep.
But against Malamar, and then against Water Mew Box, and then against another Malamar, like it did well. I was impressed about how little I dead drew. I was impressed by how consistent the deck was. Even with bad prizes, the deck still did its thing. And because of where we are in the format, it being a bit of a slower format, because we're not just generally by power of decks, because we're at the start of rotation, decks are the least powerful they're going to be.
Yeah.
If you have to attach an energy a turn, that's okay, and you can get there eventually. Even if I didn't find my Coco because if you really think about it, the only energy that you can attach besides being in hand is Coco.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't getting to it because I only play 2 communications, so that's the only way you search it. Which makes me think I want to play Fan Club. It's the add 2 basics.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you can add the Dedenne and you can add Coco. You know what I mean? So you can put the Coco on the bench, play the Dedenne, put the energy in the bin, and then go. I think it's pretty hot, but...
Are you sticking with it, or you...
So I'm building Mew Box now because I think it's such a high skill cap deck where the better you are, the better that deck gets. It just doesn't have a ceiling on it.
Yeah.
There's room for crazy techs if you find one. There's room for, trainers to be swapped. I think it's super liberal the way that deck's played.
When I was versing a Mew Box, the dude was nice as hell, and gave me my first loss.
Was he wearing a blue shirt?
I don't remember.
Smaller guy?
No, he's feeling pretty tall. Red hair, red beard.
Oh, there's somebody else playing Mew Box? I thought there was only 2.
No.
Oh, no, there was another one. Yes, I know who you're talking about because I specifically wanted to avoid him. Yes. because of the deck. I just didn't want to play against it.
Yeah, and just, and the shit he's pulling off, even though, it was to my detriment.
You were like, cool.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's so scheming. I love it. It's...
I love the amount of GXs you can play. It's just so
Latios.
cool. Dude, how good's that Latios? Also, you know what came up? They play Cobal... Henry's list plays Cobalion.
Yeah.
Just for the GX that says you can't attack next turn. And there was a point where I had all my energy, I was as far into my gameplay as I could go, and he wasn't there yet, and he just went, stop for a turn, I'm going to load up with my welder, I'm going to bring things in and slap you, and I'm like, I'm now on the back foot. It's a really cool deck. It only gets better.
Yeah.
As Lewis pointed out to me, the Charizard that comes out soon just does 300 for 400 for 4 energy. It's just 300. No effect, it's just kill the thing.
Maybe it's time to put Reshizard away and just do...
No, you don't put... You put Reshizard in it.
Yeah. As in, put it to the side.
Yeah.
And well, that's a question. So I played Reshizard, greens. Yeah. And that's the thing, and where this format is a bit slower, so I look at that and go, hey... It's a budget deck. It's the main reason.
It's 100% a budget deck.
It's a budget deck, and also I don't feel it's the worst deck to play.
Absolutely not.
Obviously, I still think abilities Reshizard is. I think that's got the. It's better.
It's better. It's only better based on being able to play Dedenne. That's it.
Yeah.
Just being able to be a bit faster. But
and then you have 9 towels and stuff to do the custom catches stuff instead.
There's the discard.
Because then you can also use Pokemon communication because you got more to use. It gives you a bit more flexibility, but also there's times where you can maybe brick. I just find it hard to say that. I just think Abilities are 100% better than it, but still, greens for what it does. Greens is so powerful. That's in searching 2 trainers and knowing that. Hey, they're most likely not going to be able to kill my Reshizard, or they can kill my Volk and take 1 prize. I don't care, because next turn I got Welder, and I'm going to hit whatever they try to kill my Volk.
I also found it crazy that, if you go late game and you just top deck a greens, you're like, I'll just go get 2 custom catches. Hey?
Yeah, 2 custom catches.
And you're just like, give me.
Well, that's the thing.
With such little bench interaction, the ability to search it's crazy.
I versed a stall Pidgey deck.
Oh, yeah.
And Volk had 2 energy on it somehow. And I'm just going, oh, well, shit. Go for the custom catches. Come here, Pidgey.
Yeah, dead.
Dead.
Yeah,
it's there goes your consistency. And then, then the next turn I kill off another Pidgey.
And then that's it. And then they don't have recursion, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, I do think it's really cool. So It was 6 rounds. I started strong and then almost drowned. I got to play some really good players, which was so cool. Like, just to see their style of play and like how fast they can get through their turns when needed, but they take their time until they can't, and then they just went.
Getting you versus Henry would have been.
Oh, I was so stoked.
The
thing is too, I played so much better against him because I'd accepted defeat. Like, because I'd accepted... not that I accepted defeat, I thought to myself, if I lose, I'm okay with that. And because I was okay with it, I wasn't stressed.
Yeah, there's no pressure.
And I just went for it. And I took a game off him, which I was stoked at, because he told me that nobody had up until that point, which was really nice.
Actually, that is a good point, because if you are versing, like, the best...
Yeah.
You do go, oh, there's no pressure. I'm probably going to lose. I'm okay losing. So then I
have nothing to lose. But people like Christian and stuff who have a reputation for being a very good player. I understand them.
Yeah.
Having more of a hunger to beat him.
Yeah.
But when I got to play him, he was super nice, and he was like really, really up for discussing his list and why he thought certain lists were better than others. So when I got to play him in pools and I lost, I was like, okay, and then I lost the next game to Giratina Garchomp. I don't know if you know this. It does 160 for no energy. It's just like, it's like 200 damage. And I'm like,
can pick random shit off too.
Both games went Inkay, Malama. And I was like, no worries. I'll take my sit over there and cop this L. But, and I won my winning in against Jeremy, which was really nice. Because I discovered Kev won his winning in against Jeremy.
Ah.
I felt bad now.
Wollongong's coming to Horn.
Yeah, I know. But he's very, very lovely and super supportive of us. Like, he was just so happy because I think to a lot of those good players aren't as desperate because they know how many events they've got. They know where the points are. They know, okay, am I likely to make the top 8? You know, if I'm not, I'll just aim for my points for Worlds and I'm happy with that. Yeah. So I think what I was talking to Scully about a lot is that there's actual value in the game, which means there's no perceived value. So when you don't have any perceived value, you don't have any elitism. You don't have any because for example in Yu-Gi-Oh, because you need some kind of value for all the effort you're putting in, people some people decide they go, oh, I'm better than this person, and that's their value of competing and being just better than other people. And when there's actual value in the game, and your value doesn't rely on just being better than other people, I think it makes everyone else
that's a really good comment, and it does show. I was just the players that that have been far beyond play way better. Like they talk to me they just. And not even condescending, they talk shit, they entertain you, just talk being an idiot.
Yeah. And the thing is too is that even when I think because you know what I did actually, I had a power plant up, and I had a Zero Aura, and I retreated for free with Zapdos, but Zero Aura doesn't actually get its effect on the power plant.
Yeah. And
I activated I retreated the Zero Aura and I activated a E-Power. And Christian was like, oh, you can't, he was just like, oh, actually, you can't retreat it. And I went, okay. I put it back, and I just left I was like, leave the E-Power down. And he was like, cool. And he was just like, it's a reversible game state. You don't need to, if it happens again, I will call it, but I'll call a judge just to do a warning. But he was just like, it's cool. It's like, I can totally see why you made the mistake. And it was just something there was no... It was a mistake, but it was completely reversible. And it was totally fine, and it was treated that way. It wasn't I've been sharked on way less, and I'm like, it was just really nice for him to go. We are competing against each other, but he's like, no, and he also would expect the same if it was the other way. And I'm like, it's cool, it's totally fine.
Also, in speaking of reversal game states, there was a bloke getting around that had different sleeves. And then
I saw
didn't get punished as much as
Scully spoke about this, and he was so confused
because I was one more table up. Scully was next to me at the time, And yeah, Scully's just like, no, you call a judgment. You're sorting that out. You can't have different sleeves.
That's marking cards. Like that's you can't even.
They probably should have deck checked him because it very much could have been he's just chucked that in. Like,
yeah. Do you know what he was playing?
I didn't get to see that much. It was a little bit out of my field of view. But
I'd be curious as to.
Yeah, and they came to some sort of arrangement or penalty. But I think it probably should have been a total loss in deck check and check that out because that seemed to be a bit dodgy.
My round 1 was against the guy who was playing Malamar structure deck, and he was a bit out there. But he dropped he muddled his deck to begin with before we even started shuffling, and then we played our whole set, which I won 2-0, and then he's like, oh, I dropped a card, and he just pulled an energy up, and he's like, oh, that's where that energy went. And I was like, all right.
Oh my god!
And I spoke to the lady who was working there at the time, and she was like, oh, it's his first tournament. He's like, he's not all. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, it's fine.
I think I know the bloke you're talking about. He did something where it was like he left his folder on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not having any bar of this. Like, we're right up to the way, and I'm.
Yours.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the guys, but I'm not even getting involved in that to say whose it is. I'm handing it over. I haven't even looked at what's in there.
Yeah. But so actually, if we want to go over so for Newcastle, I've got the results here. So after pools, and I should be able to remember off the top of my head, who placed where. So we from 1st to 8th we had Henry Brent, Jack Miller, Christian, Lucas. Shout out Lucas, by the way. Just moved up into Masters, so just 18.
Oh, yep.
Went to Worlds last year for seniors, and he was really wanting to prove himself for Masters, and he did super well.
Yep.
Shane Quinn, Damien, and me, and 8th. And so from 1st to 8th again, it was a Mew box, Picarom, Tina Tags, which is the Giratina, Malamar, Rando, Christian.
Yep.
BS, Greens, Reshizard, right up there. Shout out Lucas.
Yeah.
Mew box again, Tina Chomp, which was the guy who beat me, and Picarom.
Yeah.
So that Tina Chomp, by the way. Oof. And then where this ended up, I know Christian won, Shane came 2nd, I think Henry came 3rd, Jack might have come 4th, and then from there I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like Malamar just beats Mewbox, and I'm not entirely sure how.
I definitely seen a bit of movement and talk about Malamar, and I'm like, I just don't see it.
Yeah. And
then but it does.
So here's the thing too with that deck. I'm meant to be a good matchup for me. Yeah. Picarom's meant to beat that deck, and the amount of energy. So the damage, even with Lysander's Lab, which is something that not a lot of lists play, but is a complete counter to that deck. Even with it, it was still a Spell Tag would go off and put 40 on something, then put 40 on something, and Giratina would put 20 on something, and then all of a sudden, he's brought in a Nihilego that's hit me with my own move, or a Mimikyu that's hit me with my own move, or the Esper, which has just said, oh, see the 10 damage counters you have on your... Yeah, it's dead now. It just... And it takes so long smacking through one prize at a time. And then, when you're not expecting it, he goes Espeon Deoxys, load, 100 spread damage to clear 5 prizes worth of shit. And I think, other than Mewbox being able to set up their own Deoxys, there's no counter in Mewbox for that deck.
No.
And it showed because Christian beat Henry 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
You can't as far as drawing goes and as far as RNG goes, beating him in a semi-finals 2 days in a row speaks for it. That deck's just good. And don't get me wrong, he's been playing that deck or a variant of that deck for a year and a half to 2 years now.
I think one prize thing is very interesting.
It's so tough when you're used to just killing 2 things and the game being done. I hit it in K. And then I bring in a Malamar with 2 custom catches. I hit it, and I'm like, cool. And I hit a Giratina, and it spreads me.
Once you get to the third one, that's where it starts going. Where you go, shit, I'm getting deep here.
Every time Giratina comes in, it does 130 to you. You kill it, and then it does another 20 coming out. And I'm like, bruh, it's already hit me for half of my health, and then the Esper's just killed me. It's such a good deck. I would be hesitant to say that anybody picking up the deck would do as well with it. I really do feel like it's because that's probably one of the first competitive decks he made, and he just stuck with it.
Yeah.
For the rest of his goddamn life. Now, for day 2 for Maitland.
Yep.
I'm not sure if this is in order of who ended up winning, but Christian's at the top and Henry's near sec, so maybe. So we had Christian up top playing Malamar Giratina, Paul Coletta playing Mew Box, Ying playing Ability Reshizard.
Yep.
Ying, very, very good player. Got really unlucky. Newcastle, he's normally always up top. Henry playing Mew Box. Brent, again, playing Ability Zard. Mitch Dowling, who's Jack's mate. I'll point him out to you. Cool guy. Really, really nice guy playing Behem.
Yeah.
Kev playing Behem and Josh playing Pikachu and Zekrom.
What
a fucking deck, huh?
Yeah, so, how did that come up?
So, Kev played Guardy Sylveon in Nui, and it just didn't do well. Like, it has a really good Pikarom matchup, but it struggles against Zard.
Yeah,
and that's about it. So, Behem, if you're not super well versed with it, is essentially a semi-stall deck that revolves around doing 90, using Behem's attack, which does 90, shuffles all the cards attached to it back into the deck, and locks your opponent from using items the following turn.
Yeah.
You do this by... And the whole game plan is you set up the Ninetales, which can't be damaged by EX or GXs.
Yeah.
You sit that up front. You use boards that, they're like, I forget what they're called. It's an item that gives it retreat.
Yeah.
You retreat it into the Behem, give it the triple burst energy, hit it, put everything back in deck, evolve it, and just rotate that until they die. It looks like Kev played a lot of different matchups, so it's not that he just got his matchup and just rolled through. He versed Mewbox, he versed Reshizard, so the only 2 people playing Behem topped, so, Rogue, huh?
Yeah, I can see that deck working, because that has Pidgeotto in there too, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does, for a bit of consistency. It doesn't go full bird shit, where it goes, 3 and...
It's just aggro bike every turn.
Yeah, but you don't have to discard.
Yeah.
I think the only detriment to the deck is the deck itself. Like, if it doesn't draw its triple burst energy, it has trouble.
Yeah.
Because if you're stalling your opponent out, and then you give them a turn, they have 10 cards, and they're just gonna... Even then, to be fair, they're taking a prize. So,
Well, that's a pretty good wind up of the meta.
We've got Top Right in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Which we'll be going to, and then the week after in Penrith. So we're going to be giving it a red hot crack.
I want to make you say what deck you're looking at building Mew.
Yeah, I've got Mewbox and I've got Pikarom, and I'm going to just, through testing, kind of work out where I sit with those decks. If I'm not comfortable with Mewbox,
I don't imagine I'm changing between now and then. I think I'll keep it simple.
We've seen the deck can perform.
That's the thing, yeah. I'm just going to set up a base. By then, I'm pretty sure in a couple of weeks, someone will probably come up with an answer to it. I don't think... I might struggle.
I think we can refine the items a little bit and see where we go.
I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Because we're in ride.
Send help. I've been bodied. Send help. I've been full blitzed.
Let us know what you're playing, what you want to play this Unified Minds in the comments, in the emails, tnc4g@gmail.com.
Large yeet.
I'll find some gimmick to do at the end of the episode eventually.
Andrew making the weird orgasm noise.
It's not weird, it's natural, baby.
They used that on my deck profile. I was like, yeah, fair. I was like, yeah, cool. Check out my deck profile.
yeah, really. Yeah,
I am completely honest about how poor that deck ran when it ran poorly.
My deck's so shit, but I still top.
Because that's how good the deck is. You price them out in 5 games in a row and it just works.
Otherwise,
Full blitz is fun.
have a good one.